2022年6月1号，不要以为这是儿童节，这是这个骄傲节，就是各种 LGBTQ， 看见那彩虹旗没有？很恶心的。然后在这个国会山聚集，然后庆祝骄傲游行。你看，都是些小孩，过来了，我都不知道是他们自己过来的还是学校组织的。你看加拿大多疯狂，多恶心。这个前2天，这个BC 省刚刚通过，很多原来传统意义上的毒品现在都是合法的了，包括海洛因、可口因之类的。它有剂量的控制。你看，让这么小的孩子，然后宣传这个同性恋，进行同性恋教育，这个疯狂的国家。然后军队现在也开始竖彩虹旗了。我因为没戴口罩，被公交车司机赶下来了。我真的是忍住1万句脏话，是一个疯狂的、邪恶的国家。这就是加拿大。
My name is 坐忘 and firstly I will introduce my pen name 坐忘. 坐 in Chinese means to sit. 忘 means to forget. So 坐忘 is originated from the Taoism 庄子. It tells us we should sit down and forget everything. We should forget all of the tasks and tricks, so we can go back to nature. We can have real wisdom. So it's the ancient thoughts of Chinese philosopher 庄子. Today, I will talk about the discrimination when I was not vaccinated and I refused the masks. Yes. About in winter, I was deprived of the right to ski, to the swimming pool, to the cafeteria, to the restaurant, because I don't believe the vaccines. And until now, everyone knows that the real effective of the Pfizer vaccines is 12%. And many of people have been killed and have been destroyed the immune system. From the news, we always found that some very young, healthful, prosperous athletes, and they were dead suddenly when they were in the competitions. And ironically, we can see this situation. Some very famous athletes have been deprived of the right to join in the competition, and now they can go to their competition, and their opponents are someone who have been vaccinated, and then the leader suddenly fell down in the competition. And there are some other discriminations. For example, many of people are fired for unvaccinated. And as I know, one of my friends, she works in government, and she has very good social level situation, and she has very good salary. But she has to choose stop their job, and she can hold the position, but she doesn't have any salary. She dares not to tell the truth to her colleagues. She found some excuse to leave. And she told me from this issue, she found that she has been brainwashed in the educational system and in the surroundings of her working. She told me if one day if all of the people can return those privileges, maybe she will think them over. She can understand those policies of the government very clearly. And I have more personal experiences. Do you know, after 14th of May, there existed the mask mandates in the Quebec buses. Yesterday, I refused the mask. Then, firstly, the driver tried to drive me off the bus, and at last, he lied to me. The 33 bus will change another routing because at that time there is only one passenger on the bus. It's me. I asked him, do you really think that this half-blocked plastic wall can prevent the virus? Why you can have the privilege not to wear a mask? I think because of the law and of the very ridiculous rules, there are so many little guys, and they think now they have the power to overrule others. It's very, very unfair. But why did this happen? And because I came from China, a communism and a tyranny country, and I have smelled very familiar smells in Canada. For example, in Tiananmen Square, 1989, the government announced that those so many people like clothes in the Tiananmen Square, they were fringe minority. Yes, you are very familiar with this name. It has been repeated by Trudeau again and again. And in the Hong Kong protest, the government announced that, avowed that they were fringe minority. As a matter of fact, they were 210,000 people. There are many, many zeros after the number 2. And so the government is lying to all of us.
Yeah.
And the whole situation is that the Third World War is happening. And the government is not the national government. There is a globalism government. And in US, Canada, and Europe, NADA, the political leaders are the puppets of the globalism government. I have read a very famous novel. It's written by Dostoevsky. It was written in around 1872. The name is Demons. And I think you can Google another book. The name is Protagoras of the Elders of Zines. Why now I talked about these two books? Because the first one is that how did the Russians have been destroyed by those communist parties? What did they do in Russia? And they have created too many rumors, and they have created too many riots. There are a lot of conspiracies. They killed and they lied. So there was a chaos in the society. And then they tried the best to overrule the power. And the protectors of the elders of Zines. It's a political book, and now the propaganda said that it's a conspiracy. It's not reliable. No, it's just what happened. Those bad guys, those today's global communism's ancestors, what did they do 100 years ago?
I said that Trudeau is using Maoist propaganda methods, specifically Maoist last line narrative attacks against Canadians. Would you say that's correct, and why?
And I can explain that the Mao thought is originated from some Jewish politicians around him, and the politicians of the China have been influenced by the Soviet Union. Okay, so I recommend you to read these two books so you will know the rootings of the communism. And now, what's the situation today? We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting to defend freedom. But most of Canadians, they are sleeping. They don't wake up. They oppose us. And the government, I think, most of the politicians are traitors, especially Justin Trudeau. And what we should do, I think, we should insist in the protests in the weekend. As I know, now in Canada, in all of the Canada, there are many protests. And we should protect ourselves. It's a war between the commoners and the elites. It's not a war between the left and the right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Duong, for your words. Up next, guys, one of